About what can happen to you if you don't do market testing with your logos before you release them. A man came up to me who was a director for National Geographic's doing documentaries all over the world. And he was also, while he was in LA, a manager for a magic club called the Magic Castle, which is a pretty tough ticket to get. It's very exclusive. You have to be invited to be able to attend these shows that are there at the Magic Castle in Hollywood. And it's a beautiful facility when you drive by it. So he was going to get acts from the Magic Castle, and he was going to go and tour all over California and Nevada for all the casinos to try to build the business. And he decided it was going to be called the Real Magic Productions. And so he was going to be doing magic shows, but he was also going to be doing documentaries as well. And he asked me to do this, and he specified that he wanted a wizard-looking guy that might be, Sinbad and the Arabian Nights type of a feel. So he wanted me to put a turban on this gentleman. And as you can see, that's the result on the left here. I had completed this about 2.5 months before he was going to his convention in Hollywood for film. And I sent him this final version probably once a week for 2.5 months prior to the convention, trying to get a final approval, to get any revisions, etc. And he never responded to any of my emails or phone calls. So he'd already paid me 50% up front, which is customary, and he was going to pay the balance upon receipt. And so I was getting ready to go to Europe, and like 2 days before I was going to Europe, I get a phone call from this gentleman, and he asks me if it's ready to go, and I sent it to him, and he says, that's fine, go ahead, do it. I need cards for this show. And I said, I'm leaving to Europe, so I'm going to have them FedExed to you. And this is, again, 2006 that this happened. And so I got the cards made. They were FedExed to him. I was in Europe. He was at this convention in Hollywood. And James Cameron, the director of Avatar and Titanic, saw him, and I guess Alan went up to him and handed him his card, and he looked at the card, chuckled, gave it back to Alan, and said, what's the Ayatollah Khomeini doing on your business card? Laughed and walked away. Because 2006, we were still, knee deep in the Middle East and the war with Iraq and Afghanistan, and 9/11 was still fresh with everybody, and there was a bizarre atmosphere in the country. And so all I know is I came back 2 weeks after the fact, and my email was just stacked up from this guy. And he said that it was an embarrassing, horrific experience, and he wants to change the logo. And so I tried to accommodate him, and I did these little rough ideas over here. I tried to westernize the old sorcerer with like a Gandalf-looking hat, and then I had these hands that I quicked out. And these were just really done quickly to get him another concept to try to, help him out, because I know that it was a pretty embarrassing and painful experience for him. He wasn't going to have it. Neither one of these two was going to work for him. And again, working with him was a little bit difficult because of the fact that he didn't communicate. And I tried my best to help him out. And what ended up happening is he wanted me to start all over again for free. And I told him, no, I can't do that. And that was it. But the end of the story is that about 6 months ago, his girlfriend contacted me, and they wanted me to get the logo back to him, which, you look at an old logo, you're like, ew, why did I leave that space there and this? And why didn't I fix that? I could have gotten rid of that. Oh, and so I doctored it up and I sent it to him in good faith. And yet I see his website, and he's using some bad clip art, and businesses don't understand how detrimental poor messaging or dated or it just, again, people associate your company with the brand that they see. And if it's clip arty and it looks like they could have done it themselves, it doesn't add a lot of credibility to your brand. And so be careful about that stuff. And I just wanted to share this nightmarish kind of story with you, because again, you want to make sure that you get approval. You want to make sure that you can go and get people to check this out in inexpensive ways, to go SurveyMonkey and put your file up there and send it out to maybe all the followers that you might have on Instagram or whatever, so that they can help you out and give you some feedback. And then you can come back with some modifications that are going to make sure that you nip any kind of a problem in the bud before it happens. In fact, a student just sent on Instagram right now, I saw his logo. He's redesigning classic logos, and he did Apple in a like Clarendon, which is it's a cross between a slab serif and a serif font, so really thick serifs. And he nestled an apple below the crossbar in the A. And I looked at it, my immediate association was Applebee's, the restaurant. And so I wrote that to him. I put Applebee's with a question mark, and then he came back, and he's really an emotional type. So he came back and, is that your association? And I said, well, yeah, because the serif that you have is associated with um, traditional, warm family. Uh, it's a 500-year-old style of type, and generally with tech companies, sans serifs are what you're seeing. And so I looked at the serif font with the apple, and it just drew me to conclude that it might be for Applebee's. And we'll see how he reacts to that. I mean, I've been known to be painfully honest, and but I think he gets it. I hope he didn't get his feelings hurt. And I hope you don't get your feelings hurt this week, because that's not my intent. I just want to help, okay?